In every post, every tribute, every tearful word, there was love. Love for a life that made others happy. Love for a story that gave people hope. Love for a being, whether human or animal, who reminded us that kindness and courage are what truly make someone a star. As the world mourned, one thing became clear. The end of their life was not the end of their light. The laughter they shared, the warmth they brought, and the emotions they stirred will continue to live on, long after this day has passed. And maybe that's what hurts the most, and heals the most at the same time. Knowing that they are gone, but also knowing that they will never truly leave us. Because every time Hudson and Rex plays on a screen somewhere, every time someone smiles, remembering their favorite moment, that spirit comes alive again, gone from sight, but never from the heart. In the days that followed, the world seemed to move a little slower. The air carried a quiet kind of sadness, the kind that lingers long after the first tears have dried. Social media timelines turned into digital memorials. Everywhere you looked, there were photos, clips, and words filled with love. Fans, friends, and colleagues came together, not in person, but in spirit, united by the same grief and gratitude. It wasn't just mourning, it was a celebration of a life that had touched countless hearts. Tributes began to pour in from around the world. Co-stars shared behind-the-scenes moments, memories of laughter, of long filming days, of quiet kindnesses no one had ever heard about. They spoke of a star who never acted like one, someone who treated everyone on set like family. Crew members shared stories of small gestures that meant everything, a smile between takes, a word of encouragement during a tough scene, a moment of pure sincerity that made long days feel lighter. Their words painted a picture of someone who was not just talented, but truly good at heart. Fans were no different. They wrote letters and messages filled with emotion. Some spoke about how the show helped them through hard times, how watching Hudson and Rex gave them hope when life felt heavy. Others talked about the way Rex reminded them of their own pets, their own unspoken bonds that made life worth living. People from all walks of life, young and old, from different countries and languages shared one thing in common, the feeling that they had lost a friend. It was proof that fame doesn't create love, kindness does. And this star, in their own quiet way, had given that kindness freely. News outlets and entertainment pages published heartfelt tributes. Journalists wrote about how rare it was to see such genuine warmth in the industry. The headlines weren't sensational. They were soft, respectful, and full of admiration. Interviews with colleagues revealed tears and laughter side by side. One co-star said, "There was never a day they didn't bring light to the set." Another simply said, "They made all of us better, not just as actors, but as people." Even the network behind Hudson and Rex shared a touching message, thanking them for years of dedication and heart. They called them the soul of the show, and fans agreed. For many, the thought of the series without them felt strange, like a song missing its melody. But in every tribute, one message echoed again and again. Thank you. Thank you for the memories, for the warmth, for the lessons about love, loyalty, and courage. Artists began creating fan art, portraits, collages, and videos capturing the most beautiful moments from the show. Some drew the star and Rex walking together into the sunset. Others made montages filled with smiles, set to soft music. It was the world's way of saying goodbye, of holding on to what mattered most. People began sharing their favorite episodes again, writing captions that read, "Gone, but never forgotten." And in the middle of all this grief, there was something extraordinary: hope. Because while everyone was mourning, they were also remembering. Every story shared brought a little more light. Every memory told kept their spirit alive. Instead of fading, their presence seemed to grow stronger, through the voices of those who loved them. It was as if the bond that had started on screen had now become something bigger, something eternal. There was one tribute that seemed to capture it all. A fan wrote, "They taught us that love doesn't need words, it just needs presence." And even now, their presence is everywhere. That simple message spread like wildfire, reposted thousands of times. It became a reminder that though we lose people, we never lose what they gave us. The lessons, the laughter, the feeling of connection, those stay. Always. Days turned into weeks. And while the sharp pain of loss slowly softened, the legacy only grew stronger. The community around Hudson and Rex became a family of its own, bonded not just by a show, but by love. Each tribute, each story, each kind word became a piece of something much larger, a mosaic of memory and emotion that will never fade. And somewhere in that quiet space between sorrow and gratitude, fans found peace. Because even though the star was gone, the love they left behind remained in every heart they touched, in every soul they lifted, and in every loyal viewer who still presses play. One more time, just to feel that warmth again. Time has a way of softening pain, but it never erases love. As the days passed after the heartbreaking news, something beautiful began to take shape. The sadness slowly turned into gratitude, a quiet, collective thank you to the soul who gave so much of themselves to the world. The memories didn't fade, they grew brighter. Clips from Hudson and Rex began to feel different, heavier, yet more meaningful. Every smile, every gesture, every moment of bravery on screen now carried the weight of legacy. It was no longer just a show. It had become a memory of love, loyalty, and the power of connection. The legacy they left behind isn't measured in awards or numbers, it's measured in hearts. In every fan who learned to believe in kindness again, in every person who rescued an animal because they were inspired by Rex's courage, in every viewer who found comfort in those episodes on lonely nights. That's the kind of legacy most dream of, to leave behind something that heals. And somehow, this star did exactly that, without ever asking for fame, without seeking attention. They gave the world something it needed: hope. For the cast and crew, the loss was personal, but so was the pride. They knew they had shared their journey with someone unforgettable, a soul who changed the way stories are told. Their laughter still echoes through the halls of old filming sets. Their spirit still lingers in every corner of the show's universe. The friendships built on set became stronger after their passing, bound by the promise to keep their memory alive. Every new episode, every rerun, every mention of Hudson and Rex now carries a silent tribute, a whisper that says, "You are still here." Fans across the world have continued to honor that legacy. Some started pet adoption campaigns in their name, inspired by the message of love between human and animal. Others organized charity drives, donating to animal shelters and rescue groups. These weren't just acts of sadness, they were acts of love, transforming grief into goodness. That's the mark of a true star, to inspire kindness even in their absence, to make people want to be better, to do better, because of what they represented. The entertainment world, too, took notice. Industry peers spoke about how Hudson and Rex broke barriers by showing that emotion could be powerful without words, that a partnership between human and animal could move hearts across the globe. Critics once called it a comfort show, but now, it feels like something more, a time capsule of compassion, a story that taught millions what loyalty truly means. And in that story, the late star's essence lives on. In every rerun and every heart that still beats a little faster when they hear that theme song. Even years from now, people will remember, because some performances go beyond acting, they become part of who we are. The bond between Hudson and Rex will remain one of television's most touching friendships. Not just because of the story, but because of the truth behind it. The love was real, the trust was real, and that's why the loss felt real, too. But that's also what makes the legacy unbreakable. You can't forget someone who reminded you how to love. In the quiet moments, fans still find themselves rewatching old episodes, smiling through tears, feeling that same warmth they did years ago. It's comforting knowing that what they built will never die. The light may have dimmed, but it still glows softly, like a candle that refuses to go out. And maybe that's what true legacy is. Not perfection, not fame, but the ability to keep touching hearts long after you're gone. The world lost a star, but gained a story that will never end. Their laughter, their loyalty, their love, it all lives on in Hudson and Rex, and in the people who will keep sharing that story for generations. The bond they helped create between human and animal, actor and audience, is now eternal. And as fans press play one more time, they don't just watch a show, they relive a feeling of love, trust, and the kind of connection that even death cannot erase. Because true stars don't disappear when the lights go out, they shine on, quietly, beautifully, in the hearts of those who loved them, forever. It's hard to believe that someone who brought so much joy, warmth, and heart to millions of homes is now gone. The world of Hudson and Rex feels quieter today, emptier in a way words can barely describe. Fans everywhere woke up to heartbreaking news: a beloved star, a true friend on and off the screen, has passed away. In the moments of silence that followed, memories came rushing back, the laughter, the loyalty, the bond that made us all fall in love with this show. The story that once filled our screens with life has now turned into a memory that we'll never forget. When Hudson and Rex first appeared on our screens, no one expected the connection between a detective and his loyal dog to touch hearts the way it did. It wasn't just another police drama. It was something different, something real. The show captured the friendship between man and animal, the unspoken understanding that love doesn't need words. And at the center of that connection was the star who made it all feel alive. Whether it was through a simple look, a playful bark, or a moment of quiet courage. They brought emotion to every frame they were in. People didn't just watch the show, they felt it. Children saw bravery in every chase, families saw loyalty in every mission, and pet lovers around the world saw the bond they shared with their own companions reflected back at them. That's what made this actor, or perhaps this incredible animal, so special. They didn't just act, they lived the story. Every gesture carried meaning, every scene felt honest, and every moment reminded us of the love and faith that connects living souls. Over the years, their performance became more than entertainment, it became a part of people's lives. Fans would talk about their favorite moments online, share behind-the-scenes clips, and even celebrate birthdays or anniversaries related to the show. The actor became a household name, a comforting presence, and for many, a symbol of loyalty and kindness. It's rare for someone to leave such a deep mark without ever meeting most of the people they touched, but that's what real art does. It connects hearts across distances, across time. Now, as we look back, it's impossible not to feel gratitude. Gratitude for the joy, the lessons, and the warmth they gave us through every episode. For years, they made us smile, laugh, and even cry, not because of grand speeches or fancy effects, but because they reminded us of something real and human. And even though their journey in this world has come to an end, their light continues to shine through the moments they left behind. In every rerun, in every fan memory, and in every tear shed today, their spirit still lives loyal, brave, and forever loved. There was always something magical about Hudson and Rex. It wasn't just about solving crimes or catching villains. It was about the unbreakable bond between two souls who understood each other without needing words. Week after week, we watched that friendship unfold on screen, one filled with loyalty, courage, and trust. In a world that often feels distant and cold, their connection reminded us what true companionship really means. It was more than fiction. It was a reflection of something we all long for, someone who stands beside us through every storm, no matter what. The heartbeat of the show was never in the explosions, the action, or the drama. It was in the quiet moments, the way Rex would tilt his head as if he could read Hudson's thoughts, or how Hudson's tired smile would soften when Rex was by his side. Those moments spoke louder than any dialogue could. They reminded us that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just stays, quietly, faithfully, through everything. And that was the secret that made this show special. It wasn't just a story of a detective and a dog. It was the story of friendship in its purest form. For so many fans, the relationship between Hudson and Rex became something deeply personal. It gave comfort to people who had lost someone. It gave hope to those who were alone. It made people believe again in the goodness of the world. Through every case they solved, through every danger they faced together, the message was always the same. Real love never leaves you. It stays in the small moments, the memories, and the quiet strength we carry inside. Behind the scenes, the connection between the actors and the animal was just as genuine. Stories from the set tell of laughter, long hours, and countless takes made better by that unspoken trust. Rex wasn't just a dog trained to perform, he was a partner, a friend, a member of the family. And that bond showed in every frame. The way he looked into Hudson's eyes wasn't acting. It was real emotion, the kind only animals can give, pure and without condition. Every time Rex leaped into action, every time he comforted someone in pain, the audience felt it, because it came from a place of truth. Even as the seasons went by, and new stories unfolded, that emotional core never changed. The world of Hudson and Rex might have evolved, but the heart of it, the friendship, stayed the same. And that's what made it timeless. It didn't matter if you were young or old. If you watched it for the mystery or for the bond, the show found its way into your heart and stayed there. It reminded us that strength isn't about fighting alone. It's about having someone who believes in you. And now, in the wake of this loss, that message feels more powerful than ever. The one we loved is gone, but the bond they created continues to live through us. Every fan who shares a memory, every clip replayed online, every tear shed today, it all carries that same spirit of loyalty and love. That's what they gave us, not just a performance, but a legacy of emotion that will never fade. The heart of Hudson and Rex was built on trust, and trust doesn't die. It lingers in the hearts of those who watched, those who worked on the show, and those who found comfort in it. Long after the final credits roll, that warmth remains. And though the light of one star has dimmed, the world they helped create still shines. Because some bonds, once formed, can never truly be broken. There are moments in life when the world seems to stop, when time itself holds its breath. That's how it felt when the news broke. The story that had brought joy to so many hearts suddenly turned into silence. It began as a whisper online, a few uncertain words that no one wanted to believe, but soon, it became real. The beloved star of Hudson and Rex had passed away. Those words felt impossible to accept. For a long moment, fans stared at their screens in disbelief, hoping it was a mistake, a rumor, anything but the truth. But it wasn't. The person or the soul who had filled our hearts with light had truly left us. The internet filled with grief within hours. Messages flooded in from every corner of the world. Some wrote stories about how Hudson and Rex had helped them through dark days. Others shared pictures, favorite scenes, and words of love. It wasn't just about fame or popularity, it was about connection. This wasn't just a celebrity passing away. It was a friend, a part of people's lives. The pain was raw and real. Even those who had never met the star felt a personal loss, because for years, they had welcomed them into their homes, their hearts, their memories. In those first few hours, fans and cast members alike were quiet. There weren't enough words to explain the emptiness. The co-stars who had shared laughter and long filming days were now left with a silence that felt too heavy. They described their friend as gentle, kind, and full of life, someone who treated everyone with warmth and respect. Whether it was the main actor or the loyal dog who played Rex, the love they gave was always genuine. It wasn't about fame or cameras, it was about heart. And now, that heart had stopped beating, leaving behind echoes that will never fade. The cause of death, when it was finally shared, added another wave of sorrow. For some, it brought understanding. For others, only more pain. But beyond the headlines and the statements, what people held onto were the memories, the laughter on set, the playful moments during filming, the deep friendship that made the show what it was. Those memories became a form of healing, something to cling to when the reality felt too harsh. News stations covered the story with respect. Fans held online vigils, lighting candles, sharing clips, and writing messages filled with love. Hashtags trended worldwide as people came together in grief. It was a reminder that when someone gives their art, their time, and their heart to the world, they never truly belong to one person, they become a part of everyone. And that's exactly what this star had become, a piece of the collective heart of millions. Even as sadness spread, there was also a strange sense of unity. People who had never spoken before began comforting each other. They shared how much the show meant to them, how it helped them through lonely nights, or reminded them to believe in goodness again. In grief, there was connection. The same kind of connection Hudson and Rex always celebrated. The show was built on the power of love, loyalty, and trust. And in this moment of loss, those same values held the community together.